Hi, I'm Ashley Bullington, and you're watching The Warmup, presented by your local Geico agents in Cypress, Spring, Pearland, and East Houston. Last week kicked off our big school games, and what a schedule we had. There's going to be just as many great matchups this week as well, and we will have a full slate of games coming at you on Chevy's Inside High School Sports. First on the docket, Fort Bend Hightower takes on Spring Westfield. The Hurricanes finished in a tie for second in district last season. Hightower returns the prolific passing duo of quarterback Jacoby Longino and wide receiver Latrell Neville. Their opponent, Westfield, is known for their defense, who only allowed 35 points in their last 7 games in 2019. They return a number of key players, including the district offensive and defensive newcomers of the year, and quarterback Cardell Williams and defensive lineman A.J. Holmes. We'll also have Manville taking on Crosby. The Mavericks changed their first week of games to a scrimmage versus Dickinson. With that practice under their belt, they're ready to go. Manville must replace quarterback Tucker Yarbrough, but the Mavericks returned plenty of firepower from an offense that averaged 49 points a game last season. The Cougars, on the other hand, took a loss in Week 1 to George Ranch. They are led by senior signal caller Deniquez Dunn, and they scored more than 52 points per game in their last 4 in 2019. Can they get back to that level of play this week versus Manville? Our game of the week is Ridgepoint versus Dickinson. The Purple Pride should be much more experienced in 2020, as they lost their district title after 5 consecutive seasons. The Panthers returned 6 all-district performers and have former Lamar Consolidated head coach Rick LaFavors taking over as Ridgepoint's head coach. Dickinson won their district title last year, cruising through the league schedule with an average margin of victory of 41 points. The Gators must replace star quarterback and district MVP Mike Welch, but Dickinson returns 7 all-district performers on the offense after averaging nearly 45 points a game in 2019. If a young Dickinson defense can step up, the Gators and Panthers will have a tough one this week. There's going to be some really good games on this week. I can't wait to see that Ridgepoint versus Dickinson game. You'll be able to see all of the highlights on this week's episode of Chevy's Inside High School Sports. Also, make sure you vote on our Hot Play of the Week poll presented by Louisiana Hot Sauce for a chance for your community to move on to compete for the Play of the Year. Here's last week's winner. Also on Chevy's Inside High School Sports, we have our Chevy Spotlight on Schulenburg Football, who was predicted to be last in their district but have come out of the gate smoking hot at 4-1 with a huge win over Flatonia.
To have the name of the Schulenburg Shorthorns and be picked last in district is something that motivates us. We want to bring back that tradition like some of the past coaches have done, with the state championships like Coach Huseman and others, and to be able to just have that motivation, and now it's exciting.
Going to be a really great story on the Shorthorns this week. Last week, we gave our Grimaldi's MVP bobblehead to St. Thomas's quarterback Max Kopp. Here on The Warmth, we like to recognize players and teams off the gridiron and basketball courts that deserve acknowledgement for their accomplishments. Kingwood was ranked the number 15 team in the entire country by Max Preps in the 2019-2020 season. They had one of the top pitching prospects in the country who graduated and went on to be the 54th pick in the 2020 MLB draft, Mason Wynn. They have a D1 returner in Riley Bender, who will be leading this team for his senior season. Speaking of Kingwood baseball, Kingwood alumni Kyle Finnegan made his major league debut with the Nationals over the summer. And it's time now for everyone's favorite segment, the Extra Point.
Texans, Astros, Chiefs, Royals, Cowboys, Indians, Marlins, Dolphins, Heat, Rockets, did I say Rockets? Lakers, Clippers, Chargers, Rams, Bengals, Patriots, 49ers, Titans, Jaguars, MLB, Yankees, Red Sox, Cubs, Bears.
It might not be high school, but it's Houston, so
The Astros clinched a postseason berth over the weekend, and manager Dusty Baker put his name in the record books, as he's the only manager in MLB history to take 5 teams to the postseason. Some pretty big news, as the Texans are set to host 15,000 fans for Sunday's game. But we in Texas high school football are ahead of the curve, as this is what COVID-era football looks like. Almost a normal Friday Night Lights. That's all we have for this episode. Follow all of Inside High School Sports social accounts to stay up to date on everything going on in the high school sports scene. We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube that throughout the week will get you ready for the main event. Chevy's Inside High School Sports on KHU11 at 11 p.m. hosted by Matt Musil. Thanks for watching this week's episode of The Warmup, presented by your local Geico agents in Cypress, Spring, Pearland, and East Houston. To get more information or a quote, go to geico.com/Houston. I'm Ashley Bullington, and I hope you're as ready as I am for all of the gridiron action.